Come on, click the goddamn. I need real quick. This is an open line Friday, but it's Thursday. I'm checking all the numbers, making sure everything's where it's supposed to be. Listen, women, guys, go finish what you're doing. If you got to put the dog out and do your stuff, ladies, harem girls, I'm just checking. I made some adjustments. We did the podcast today. I Mickey rigged all the stuff on here. Now I put it back. Ready? Ladies of the harem, this is just a mic check for you. Hello, ladies. I just want to know if you're out there, if you're listening, if you have your shirts on and you're paying attention, because I'd very much like to speak to you now. Just you, just me, just the two of us. I need to know if my voice is coming through how you've always expected it. Now answer me fair. Be honest now. Have we achieved what we set out to achieve? Or does my voice still sound like a whiny little bitch? Because if it does, I'm going to smash everything in the studio and run out crying like a whiny little bitch. All right, I'm just asking. I'm just seeing if that was good enough. It was close. I got in there close. Is everything adjusted how it's supposed to be? Is everybody happy? Good. God, tip jar. Tip. The tip jar is, boom, there's the tip jar coming up. All right. So, yeah, there's a fucking huge tip jar. I should have probably cleared the tip jar. That would have been something good to do. Don't you think when you got plans, the best laid plans of mice and men, never works out when you're supposed to, so you got to go over here and press the button, and the button's gone. Now we minimize the screen, and we're all back. Was that? I'm waiting for a response from the harem girls there. Now, I know, seriously, I do. Okay, Nana said it was good. Sweets didn't say anything. He says sexy, but she didn't say. Sweets was complimenting me, but she didn't say if we got. I was trying to achieve something here by bringing it in real low and real close, and nobody said if. And Nana gave me thumbs up. All right. No bass general. My voice still sounds better. That's not true. Your voice can't sound better. This is. I have a wonderful voice. Just ask me. I'll be more than happy to tell you. All right. So it is January 18th. It is a little bit after 6 o'clock Los Angeles time. I'm cheating tonight. I am cheating, and I'm cheating with you guys. I have an official bottom of the glass nation glass. See that right there? That's because I got one when they were out. And if you can see that, look at the bottom. It says truth on the bottom. See, this is a Dr. McDreamy shot, but it's live. Look at the bottom of the glass. It says truth. Are you seeing that? Yeah, truth at the bottom of the glass. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. Scotty Dub says sounds like a sensual radio. He didn't say professional. I guess I'm not a professional. I'm sensual. All right, look. So here's what we're going to do. The show is completely on you guys tonight. Mrs. Ford, is your volume okay now? Give me a little thumbs up, sweetheart. Come on, all the way from back east. Tell me you love me. I'm just going to sit here and drink. I'm not going to do a goddamn thing tonight. I'm going to settle into my chair. The lights are on. The mic is going. The light is green. The trap is clean. Everybody's happy. I'm just going to drink. You guys can bring up, you want to talk about politics, you want to talk about sports, you want to talk about intimate details of my life when I was 4, I'd be more than happy to tell you what I remember, which isn't a whole lot.
Sweet says she's sorry, General. It was sexy.
There we go. You know, I have certain expectations from the harem. And when things don't, I should blame Mrs. Four. She is the madam of the harem girls. If they don't respond, this is on her. Mrs. Four, get your girls in order, would you please? Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. What are you waving at me? You got a finger up, something?
A few things for you.
All right, go ahead. What do you got there?
Kathy Johnson says, hello from Washington State, 4 inches of
Oh,
snow.
wait. I went ahead and turned on your mic.
Wow. Rude.
Okay, go ahead.
Kathy Johnson says, hello from Washington State. 4 inches of snow. First grandchild born today.
Far out. What's the grandchild's name? We should have drank to the grandchild.
We don't know.
We should have not to the nameless grandchild, to the nameless. I've heard that about them up there in Washington. They're not always real good about naming their children right away. Weeks pass, and they just point and say it until someone comes up with a name. So I'm not too upset by that. But being there's a lot of Washington apples up there, maybe perhaps Johnny Appleseed. If you can't come up with a good one, Johnny Appleseed might be appropriate for the state of Washington. What do you mean you don't know who Johnny Appleseed? I swear to God. No, you guys there's a bunch of you that just said, who's Johnny Appleseed? I swear to Christ Almighty, I am not going down that road. If you don't know who Johnny Appleseed is, go leave the live stream and go look it up, my fine feathered friends. Okay. All right. What do we got?
We also have Joe Derrick. Good morning from the Philippines, General. Beautiful Gen X mom and Gen Z kid.
That's the guy who needs to email me.
Well,
No.
tell him.
There's something really. Who is it?
Joe Derrick. He's
Joe
in
Derrick.
there.
Listen, you got to email me. GenXDad@GenXTalks.com. GenXDad@GenX. Please email me. We have to have a conversation, my fine feathered friend. We do. Two Bear says, I am Johnny Appleseed. Just because you've been spreading your seed around since you were 13 doesn't mean you're Johnny Appleseed. All right? That just means you're an incoherent drunk at an early age. Yeah. Jenna,
Loud one, $5. No bass, General. My voice still sounds better.
No. I've got the bass up. I've got the treble down. Plus, I'm reaching deep inside. I'm projecting from my diaphragm. That's a hard thing to do when you're not a girl. Yeah.
Leighton, 70. First time watching live. Ready to laugh. Leighton.
There we go. Oh, man. Look, if this is your first time here, consider it a first-time date. Just relax. I will do all the work. Listen, we haven't started drinking yet. I'm going to drink right now. I don't have a Coke chaser. All the sugar I'm allowed to have is in here. In fact, all the sugar I'm not allowed to have is in here, too. So, to Dr. Matrimi, the Sun Valley Fox, to Two Bear, the rest of the staff, and to all of you regular jabronis just like me, let's raise a glass and kick this pig, shall we? All right, here we go.
Okay, so we also have Jason Miller, member for 2 months. Good evening, handsome general.
Thank you very much.
Regarding January 27th, guess who's coming to dinner?
All right, baby. Yes, all staff, everywhere you are. Tonight is copy and paste night. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Rumble, if you guys are watching stuff on YouTube, fan questions. I will answer any question tonight. Now, if you're going to ask me something super embarrassing and super personal, there better be a $5 bill attached to it. Don't ask. Come on, man. I'm the tip the dancing bear. I am the performing monkey tonight. Don't be afraid. This is for the radio station. I'm whoring out my childhood and my youth and my intimate details again. I'm trying not to do it for free, but if I drink a bunch, I will. But you know how the game's played. Drop a couple bucks so the dancing bear can start his radio station. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Gaily Girl says, looking thinner, General. Good job.
There we go. She knows. She can see it. Mm-hmm.
Scotty Dubb is a new member. He wants to know, let's talk about what you think of Epstein's flight log.
Yeah, Scotty Dubb, it's simple. Just apply some. That's why we're here, right? Generation X applying common sense. There's some millennials that apply common sense. There's even a few boomers that apply common sense. That's just look at it through the lens of what's going on street level, nuts and bolts. Jeffrey Epstein's flight log. Every name on there is right. Every name on there everybody who's on the list really went. And everyone's going to say they didn't. Everyone's going to say, well, there's a list of 75 people on this particular month. Well, I don't know how my name got on there. I didn't go. I've never met the man. I wasn't there. I'm sure the other 74 people, they went, but not me. And every person's going to say that. Every person's going to say that they didn't go. Every person's going to say, no, the flight log was for the other. I don't know why they put my name on. I wasn't even scheduled to go. Maybe that was just an invitation, which I turned down. Anybody who's on the list is going to deny it. Anybody who denies it, they went. That's it. Well, can you prove it? Yeah, your name's on the fucking log. That's it. You went. Over. Done. Quit talking about it. Not us quit talking about it. I mean, quit denying you went. That's the simple version, and we all know that. Everybody, we're not going to get confused. You're not going to. If Tom Hanks, if he's on the list 5 times, he went. Bill Clinton 7 times, he went. That's it. Just I don't like the underage girl part. I don't like the trafficking of women. It would have been completely different if Epstein just had this island of women who were above 21 and they all wanted to be there and they wanted to have sex with all these people, and they were getting paid or housed or getting their career started, or they were putting them I don't care. But the thing that makes the whole thing super stupid is that it was, why would you have women there against their will? Why would you have underage girls? And why would you traffic them? You could have, got all the money to do what you want. Don't do the fucking stupid shit, man. That's wrong. That's wrong on every goddamn level. I would have much preferred this. The story would have been really interesting if there was like, I went out there and there was these two women. They were both 25. And let me tell you, do I have a story for you? Fine, tell me the fucking story. But not when they're not the way he did it. No, not a fan at all. In fact, if that guy wasn't already dead, I'd have killed him. Fed, go kill him again. Dig him up and kill him again. All right, Gen X Mom.
Jesse over on Facebook. Okay, let's get dark.
All right, let's go, Jesse. What you got?
The WEF has mentioned the next pandemic called Disease X. What is your thoughts?
He said WEF?
WEF.
I'm surprised that the World Economic Forum crossed that line and got into there's other places that could have come from, but I understand what you're saying. I think that let's face it, we all know that the Wuhan virus came from Wuhan. It's like a secret lab conducting experiments and things got fucked up right outside the building, and you're going to blame it on some rooster having sex with a bat and then some dude ate it. Not a fucking chance. We all got that now. We can apply common sense. We look back and go, quit fucking lying. You did this. We got it. But some of the things that they learned, that we've all learned, is you can control aspects of the pandemic. Now, the Wuhan Chinese virus was worse than the flu. I, in the beginning, thought it was just a very bad flu. I learned from Dr. McDreamy and others it wasn't. It had some very bad aspects to it that went after respiratory systems. It went after big, fat, white guys that can't breathe and have heart problems. I was a prime candidate for that. We learned that. Okay, so it was a real virus. It was a real problem. Was it as bad as they made out? Not even close. Not even close. And there's so much proof out there, I don't even want to fucking talk about it. Not even close. Was it an issue? Yes. But what did they learn? They can release something that maybe they can kind of control and it won't get out of hand because it isn't nearly as bad as they make out. They make it out to be super bad. And now, imagine if they did this again and a lot of the free market countries had to be under martial law. Does anybody even remember what that is? We didn't do it last time. We got everybody stay indoors, stay inside and put your masks on, and even wear your masks at night when you're sleeping in your apartment all by yourself, wear your goddamn mask. They pushed everybody back. They learned what they can get away with and what they can't. Now, the problem is they also can't get away with it again like, all right, here comes a virus, everybody stay inside. At least in America, they're like, yeah, fuck off. You did that last time. We'll take the shots if we want them. We won't take them if we won't. It's our risk. We're out there. Fuck you. Your shots didn't stop the virus. They didn't prevent it from spreading. It wasn't a cure. Okay, it didn't inoculate it from it. You could still get it. So just keep that shit to yourself. They already know so that we're going to stand up. We're going to push back. We learned how to push back. They learned what control they could have. However, to bring this back around full circle, what if they release another virus got away that's similar? They can make it out to be deadly. And if we're not obeying, if we're not complying, why couldn't they just have a martial law declared and say, all right, we're putting a soldier on every corner stand in your fucking house? I think that they underestimate the military. I think the military, the foot soldiers would go, you know what? I'm not shooting my fucking neighbors because you said so. Sorry. That's just me. I think that they have tons of them they can release. I think they're trying to always figure out how they can control and tax and hang on to that power as long as possible. I mean, let's face it, and I'll end with this. If they release it, they declare martial law, and everybody goes home, all they have to do is when we go, excuse me, when we open the door, can we come out now? And they go, no, it's worse outside. No. In fact, don't even look out your window. The world is no. We're looking at our watch right here. We'll let you know when it's time to come out. I'm just saying that's where my brain goes with the direction that we went and where we could go. Sorry, it took too long. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Okay. Bruce says, or is asking, okay, real question. How do you know you're teaching your children? Bruce wants to know.
Oh, that's easy. You never know. All you know is when you teach your children, and this is whether you're teaching them anything. Now, if you're teaching them math and you can see them learn the math and get the answers right, pretty straightforward. But I'm assuming what you're asking me is about teaching them about life. Now, having raised 32 children in this last batch of 8, I will tell you that you don't know what they're going to understand, what they're going to keep with them, but you do know you're planting seeds. You're planting seeds. I promise you, some things you may see sooner, some you'll see later. We look at our children. My wife and I look at our children as they're grown, and there's a ton of them over 25. I think our oldest one's almost 32. And we see things popping up in their life, lessons, behaviors that we planted the seeds in 20 years ago. You are planting seeds, so you're never going to know if what you're teaching is going to stick unless it's a lesson plan. But what you're doing is if you keep planting the same seed, set an example, teach over and over and over, you're planting those seeds, and one day, God willing, they grow. Not all of them do, but you'll see them when they do. You'll look and go, wait, that's my handiwork. That's mine right there. See that flower blossoming? See the flower come? I did that. I planted that seed. You'll recognize. You'll know. Yeah, what else you got?
Graham Gordon, $2. $2 more for the bathing suit fun for laps.
Yeah, you'd have to have thousands of dollars for me to wear like a weird bathing suit and film or take pictures of me going around the outside of my pool. Yeah, you'd have that. We're off the chart. None of you are that rich, just so you know.
Rumble is checking in tonight. Hello, Rumble. Ma Vic says State of Washington continues to vote stupid and whine about it.
Yeah. They vote in every Democratic policy, every liberal agenda. They were one of the first ones to raise the minimum wage in Seattle and open the city to a sanctuary city, and it falls apart. It's all fucked up, and it's getting worse all the time. Also, we need to address the elephant in the room. Scott Royston. Not that Scott's an elephant. It's just it's a fig Newton of my imagination when I say the elephant in the room. Scott got banned for some fucked up shit he said. Now, that we all know is true. Scott has since given me a very good apology. I have been trying to unban Scott every trick I know. We actually have an email request into the chat help with YouTube to try to get his URL unblocked and bring Scott back. So those of you who have been wondering where Scott Royston is, because he did give a lot to you guys, doesn't matter if he stepped on his dick, which he did. I step on my dick all the time. You guys forgive me. We can forgive him. It's all good. But we're trying to get him back in the program. We're just not there yet. All right.
Scott,
Joe, I know you're listening. That was for you, buddy.
Joe Derek from the Philippines. General, is there a way to clean an automatic transmission filter because there is none available for my vehicle here in the Philippines?
Well, there's some transmission filters on automatic transmissions that are metal screens, and you take it apart and you can run solvent through it. You can run brake cleaner through it. You can flush them out. You can flush them out with a garden hose until all the oil's gone. You can spray them with all sorts of stuff and then dry them out good when you're done. However, there's a lot of transmission filters on automatics that are what we call paper filters. Yeah, you really can't clean those. You can try. I've tried as a kid when I couldn't afford a filter, but there's not much you can do. You can. The best thing to do is try to adapt where the transmission filter pops into the transmission. It's usually got a whole tube with a hole in it about the size of a nickel to a quarter, where that goes in there. If you really have to cut it off and make something, it just has to sit low enough for the fluid to come up inside. But yeah, if it's a paper filter, there's almost no way to clean it ever. That'd be like telling you, take a roll of toilet paper and dunk it in motor oil until it's totally soaked, pull the toilet paper roll back out again, soaked in black motor oil, and then say, how do I clean this? You with me? Yeah, good analogy. You know why? Because I've been drinking. That's right. That's a truthful, wonderful analogy from the general. You know why? Because I drank. Jack Daniels was whispering in my ear. That came out perfect. There's a bunch of automotive guys going, well said right now. Well, good explanation, general. You know why? Because you're drinking too. All right.
Everybody's saying they can hear beeping or a phone. Nothing's gone off.
My phone's going off like a big dog.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's you then. Everybody's saying it. I'm like, my phone is not on.
No, it's
good
me.
going there, Ace.
Well, I didn't think they could really hear it.
Well, they did. Robert London, General, do you think kids have a responsibility, if they can, to financially help their parents in retirement, or should they just do it to be a good son, daughter?
Say that one more time.
General, do you think kids have a responsibility, if they can, to financially help their parents in retirement, or should they just do it to be a good son or daughter? I do. Sister says I shouldn't. Sounds like what I just went through.
I would say there is no obligation a child should have to taking care of their parents. I think that completely rests upon the child's feelings. If you say, well, you're obligated to take care of me in my old age, I took care of you, you take care of me, I spent money on you, you spend money on me. I think it loses something. I would never tell my children, you need to take care of me when you're older. I joke with them that we had 8 children because I need one of them to be rich and successful where I can go live with them. That's the running joke in our family. No, I would never consider it an obligation. But if you are a good parent and you have a good child, you will have that child, just like you had no choice but to love and nurture that child. You could have given them a bed, a dresser, 3 meals, and a shower, and that's it. But you didn't. You didn't. You went out of your way for that child to give them more than what the state required minimum would be. You did. You went out of your way. If you're a good parent and they're a good child, they are going to come up to you and say, you took care of me my whole life. You're old. Please let me take care of you. I know people that would financially break themselves trying to give back to their parents in the most loving way. And you know what? None of it had to do with obligation. So I vote against it. Should be no obligation whatsoever. That is something that's part of the relationship you develop. If you got a good relationship with the kid and the kid turned out to be a good kid, they're going to want to help you. If you have a bad relationship and a bad kid, they're going to say, fuck you, I'm doing my own thing. And they're just going to let you die on the side of the road. That's just the way it is. But no, you can't write down it's an obligation.
All righty. Mrs. Forwatton gave $10.
Yeah.
What did you do on your favorite date before Gen X mom entered the picture?
How much did she give? $10?
Yeah.
That's like a $50 question.
You didn't specify.
No, I know. I just thought people would get the message. If they want to know some pretty deep stuff, then they're going to have to pry it out of me.
Wow.
So I can use the money for the radio station.
Well, she stayed up late with you last night. So.
She did. Yeah, Mrs. Four and I, we were up till late. No one questions that.
Well, not late for her.
Well, she was up till 5:30 in the morning, so she stayed up all night as far as I'm concerned.
Maybe she got up and was talking to you at 5:30 in the morning.
I am that important. She might do that for me. Okay, what did you do on your favorite date before Gen X Mom entered the picture? I'm assuming.
What did you do before me?
You think that I didn't have dates before you?
Oh, no, I know you did.
You don't think I had any?
I don't know if I'd call them dates.
What do you mean they were dates?
They were acquaintances. Hookups.
What did we didn't have hookups when we were a kid.
Bullshit.
What did John
Booty
Bender
calls.
What did John Bender say in Breakfast Club to Molly Ringwald's character? He goes, well, some of these girls I consider my girlfriends and some of them I just consider.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a great line in that movie. I totally related to that line. What did
Come
I do
on, you're stalling there, man.
Well, I'm assuming we're taking sex off the table. Okay.
I don't know. Is that your favorite date?
It's my favorite way to end a date. Younger before you, yes, yeah. But I would say, God, I've taken girls camping. We've gone out camping in Yosemite. We've gone out camping in the desert. I've taken girls to the beach. One of my favorite dates was going to the beach and lighting a bonfire back when you could, and staying up all night or as late as you could until the early wee hours of the morning. You
Yeah, I bet you did.
Okay, you going to give me a running commentary on my dates?
I'm just playing Mrs. Forwatton. I know exactly what Mrs. Forwatton's thinking.
I'll tell you one date I had before Gen X Mom. I dated a girl. We went to Disneyland, and on the Haunted Mansion ride, we went in the summertime, so she had like on a tube top, a little spaghetti strap top, and like some OP shorts or something and sandals. So she's basically wearing nothing anyway. She got completely naked on that ride and was dressed again before the ride ended. 100% took off all of her clothes, had them in her hands like this, held them up, and then put them all back on before the ride ended. And that was before they bothered putting cameras everywhere in every ride.
Sounds like she had a good date with that one.
Well, if she was with me. Yeah, of course she had a great date. Wait a minute. Why would you consider that a good date? A girl taking off all of her clothes in a Disneyland.
Talented.
You just said it was a good date, so you think that would be a good date. Guess what? I'm taking you to Disneyland.
All right. Gotcha. All right. Tyler Cronin, $4.99. Howdy, Mama and General. General, as a mechanic,
Yeah.
what do you think of Chevy's 3.0 liter diesel? More torque than the 5.3, but less horses and 23 miles to the gallon.
I'm not a huge diesel guy, so there's a lot of stuff that I don't relate to, but there's huge advantages to having a diesel engine over a gas engine. And the trick is if you can get the displacement down to a smaller engine but produce more horsepower, diesels, if they don't fuck with the original design, you can get so many more miles out of a diesel engine than you can a gas engine. That's just how it goes. Unless you're loud one and you're driving one and you have to replace your engine every 6 months. But that's because he's Australian and his steering wheel's on the wrong side. But that's neither here nor there. Tyler, I don't have a specific answer on that except the generic one I'd give you. And I hope that's enough for you. Hey, for $5, what do you want? Okay, go ahead.
Graham Gordon,
Yeah.
Iceman is the $2 whore.
Iceman is not the $2 whore.
Shush is the $2 hoe. Two Bear? Shush.
Chush is right. The $2 whore is Two Bear. And like I mentioned earlier tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in the staff thread, if Two Bear is in fact a $2 whore, anybody who spends the $2 on him, you should all be expecting some change back. Just so you know,
Wow.
He is not going to earn that whole $2. When you're done,
You better
with
be nice
whatever
to your
activity,
security guy.
He's not my security guy. All he's going to do is follow you around.
He's
Be
yours.
nice to him. He's going to, his version of security in Las Vegas is going to be sitting with you across the room, looking at me going, I got you covered, man. You're good. No, everything looks good from here.
All right. Stuart Bailey from the UK wants to know, hey, General, what do you think of Iran and Pakistan exchanging missile strikes?
I hope good, because Pakistan is one of those countries that's not going to fuck around with Iran going, well, let's make sure that whatever you did to us, we're going to have a measured response. Pakistan is going to fucking, you know how many nuclear weapons Pakistan has? A shit ton. And they are not going to be afraid to use them. The only thing that's going to keep them in check is a few countries like us going, whoa, whoa, whoa. We'll have to pull the collar back on that dog because they are going to be ferociously like, you fuck around, you're going to find out. So you know what? If they turn Iran into a fucking parking lot, no one's going to be mad at us. I like that. We get what we wanted. You fuckers are dead. Not the population. We like those guys. With population of Iran's good. We'll set them over here. But the fuckers in charge, smoke them and don't blame us because Pakistan did it. Yes, I'm liking that.
All righty. Peter Fernandez, General, have you seen the clip about the Chinese invisible cloth they invented?
Yeah, you guys. That's relatively okay. You guys think that's new?
Well,
yes.
Harry Potter had it.
Yeah, how new could it be? Harry Potter had one. So if you look at how the Chinese and the Japanese have been developing that, they actually made a tank that had, and I'll explain this real simply, and I'm sure there's certain technology that works the same on this. I did see the videos. I didn't look into the tech on it, but imagine this. So you have a tank and it's sitting in, let's say it's sitting at the edge of a forest, and you can see the tank because in the background, there's trees. You can see just dirt and rocks, a tank, and in the background, trees. Okay, so what if you put a sheet on this side of the tank, a camera pointing at the trees, you project the image of the trees onto the sheet. Now we're seeing a screen, a sheet, a film screen of the trees. And they're the exact trees that are on the other side of that tank because that's where the camera's pointed. So it's going to match up pretty good on that. So that was the technology a long time ago. And especially from a distance, you'd have a real hard time as long as the background, whatever we're looking at, there was a camera looking at what's behind the tank and projecting it on the screen. They did it with people. There was a guy who put 2 cameras on his back and was walking around a city up near a building, and he was holding a sheet with projectors. They would project onto the screen, and people from across the street would go, holy shit, that guy just looked like he disappeared, because they can see the building behind him. Now, like I said, I didn't look at the tech on that. It's pretty cool, but you can still see it. It's not flawless. It's not flawless. You can still see what's going on. And you definitely aren't fooling the Navy SEALs when they go like this and they put on their heat sensor shit and go, the fucker's right there. It's not just, it only fools your eyeballs. It fools nothing else. If you think when Skynet takes over, you're going to hide from the Terminators by putting a Harry Potter blanket over you and running around blending into everything, every Terminator is going to be like a predator. Boop, 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 boop. You're dead. All right. So it's pretty cool. It's progress. But I saw this other video 15 years ago. So they're doing good, and there's some stuff, but the application, I don't know, other than being the next big thing on the Las Vegas Strip with magic, we got some ground to cover. All right.
Alrighty, let's move on. Scotty Dub wants to know, you ever mess with Wild Turkey 101?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was friends of mine would always, it happens now, you guys send me drinks that are just Wild Turkey is just, it's a constant staple. Yeah, I've played around with that mostly when I'm out like camping and stuff, when I run out of Jack and they're like, well, have some Wild Turkey, and then you got to pace yourself. You really do.
Loud One, member for 17 months for the KGXT studios.
My man.
What is the most memorable moment for you since the kid put you in front of a camera for all of our enjoyment, besides meeting me, of course, because we know that was an amazing experience?
Oh, other than having Loud One in my physical presence, Loud One in the studio, which Loud One was in studio, on camera, on mic, we do have that. Other than that moment, because clearly that was the highlight of our career here. Meeting him was just such a thrill. There is nobody better in the world of friendship and dedication to the bottom of the Glass Nation than Loud One. So let's see, what was the best moment? I don't know. I liked, there's a couple things that come to mind. I love the Rudy Law interview we did with the former Dodgers baseball player. Was an interview, wouldn't have had that opportunity had Gen X Talks not turned into what it is.
What about the bowling event with the Dodgers?
The bowling event with the Dodgers and Lakers.
There's been a lot.
There's been a lot.
Some really neat things.
I liked meeting the Hall of Fame Pro Bowl players in Las Vegas. That was huge.
Podcast with your wife.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one. But there was another one too. I know this is going to sound dumb. And these are all ego boosts for me. Let's be clear on that. When somebody says something kind and somebody says something nice and bolsters it makes you feel good, like what you're saying might potentially matter. And since most of my audience is drunk, I know it always matters because we don't know any better. One of the first times that when Will Smith when he slapped Chris Rock, and if I remember right, that happened the night before we had a show. So the next night, 24 hours had passed. I come on and everybody wanted to know, why did Will Smith do it? What's going to happen next? And not that I had the magic ball on that one, but I remember feeling like I was getting the sensation people were waiting to hear what I had to say. It's like, all right, Chris Rock got smacked by Will Smith. All right. And everyone's talking and the media's all over it. Every radio station, every TV station, every commercial, blah, 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 blah. And then there was a group of people that sat back and said, well, yeah, we're going to wait till the general gets here. We'll learn about what's going on tomorrow. Now, I didn't have any great insight any more than anybody else. We did talk about it. However, it was a feeling that from that point on, I remember things happening in the world and people giving me the sense they were waiting to hear what I had to say. And not that I have any great insight. I just think that we all look at things with some common sense. And it was I think one of those moments, or every one of those moments, would rank up there for me, that people actually, we all come together and then I start talking about something that then you guys respond and we have a conversation. That's got to be one of the highlights.
Oh, it wasn't the wedding?
What wedding? Oh, for a Loud One and Shush? Well, I mean, look at it from Shush's side, okay? From Loud One's side, greatest event of all time. Ranks in the top 5 things. You know, you got the Beatles' White Album, you got Landing on the Moon, and you got a Loud One when Shush married him. It's right up there. However, you look at it from Shush's point of view. I mean, could she have done better? Of course. I have no idea what lies that man told that woman who is such high caliber to marry him. So was it the greatest moment of all time? Yeah, for half of the event. Nah, I'm fucking around with you. I love you guys both. That was pretty special to me too.
All right. Bryce Burton became a new member tonight. I hope everybody said welcome.
Welcome, Bryce.
David Hemphill, can you play a musical instrument?
No. And I never really tried. I think mainly I was one of those kids that it was forced on me, so I resisted. I played the piano when I was little. I was getting lessons and I hated it. And so I didn't want to do it. I think I probably would have played the drums. But that no instruments at all.
All righty. Michelle over on Facebook wants to know, what are your thoughts about President Trump winning the Iowa caucus?
It was pretty predictable. This whole thing is probably going to go just about how everybody figures. They're almost running out of time to replace Biden, so it's probably going to end up being Trump and Biden. There's all kinds of, you listen to analysts say, well, the weather and Democrats voting for Nikki Haley, and, did DeSantis really earn his spot? I mean, he spent $26 million to get those votes, and he doesn't have enough money in his war chest to do New Hampshire. Like, okay, who gives a shit? I think at the end of the day, you let them all talk and do their thing. Trump will be the Republican nominee, and hooray that he was setting a bunch of records in Iowa. You got 51% of the vote. Good. And I just don't think it's going to matter. I think all this stuff is just posturing. If I was Trump, I wouldn't spend any money on advertising, especially since he's got all his trials. Do you realize every trial he's at is free press for him? He can walk out there and they say, well, what did you think of what the judge said today? And he could walk out and go, I won in Iowa. I was confident I was going to win, and I did. It was the best voters ever. It was the best outcome ever. You could take every opportunity that the press is going to give you for free, and you can turn it into a campaign event. And so that's in my opinion, it's great. He won. Okay, great. Far out. I think he was probably the best Republican candidate overall. And I noticed what they're resorting to now. A lot of stuff came out. I was watching Greg talk about this the other night, and they're coming out saying, he's going to turn the military against the country. He's going to be like the Nazis as soon as he gets, because remember last time it was as soon as he gets in, he's going to blow up the world. He's going to have his finger on the nuclear trigger and blow up the world. That's what they said last time. Now they're coming. Now what our inside information knows about Trump is he's going to turn the military. There's never going to be another election. It's just going to be him forever because he's going to use the military to go down that road and he's going to seize the country. I think the funny part is that people actually stood up and said, he didn't do that last time. If that wasn't on his agenda, ran a pretty good risk, with the Mueller report and losing to Biden. If you're going to do that, wouldn't he have done that to secure his? I'm just asking. He didn't do it last time. It's funny to have them go, well, we really truthfully believe that this time he will. They have to make stuff up. They have to invent tragedies because you can't say, if he gets elected, Russia and the United States will be one country. Didn't do it last time. Well, China will just roll over us. Didn't do it last time. It's really hard when you got a track record. You can't make these stupid predictions of scaring everybody to vote against Trump on what may happen because he already has a track record. He didn't do those things. I'm sorry. So he won in Iowa.
I have a question for you about Trump that I saw today. I sent it to you.
Did you pay any money? Did you pay?
Yeah, I'll pay you. The thing came across my screen that Trump wants to get rid of the payroll tax. How do you feel about that?
That's a tough one. Yeah. I think it's stupid we get taxed on how hard we work. I think in my opinion, there should be a sales tax only. There should just be a flat sales tax, but implementing that, it's definitely way beyond my pay grade. But think about what an income tax is. The harder you work, the more they take from you. That fundamentally, to me, is completely wrong. A sales tax, a simple sales tax, if you had a flat sales tax of 10%, let's say, no loopholes, no nothing, a flat sales tax. If a poor person buys a stick of gum, they pay 1 penny. If a rich person buys a helicopter, he pays a shit ton. He pays a shit ton. Everybody pays the same. Rich people are going to pay just as much as poor people, but 10,000 times more because they buy big expensive stuff. Now, getting rid of the payroll tax, now you lose, if you just do that, the government loses a lot of income. Now the government can't go spend that money. So what are you cutting? If you lost in 1 year, if you said, okay, no more payroll tax, and what if the payroll tax was, $400 billion a year for the national, for the common fund, okay? So now you think, all right, we're cutting out payroll tax, and we're going to just no payroll tax, so we're losing $400 billion. Well, you're going to make that up because people are going to keep their money. They are going to buy more things. You're going to get some back in sales tax. More people, they'll reinvest it. More people will have jobs. Are you going to make it all back? No, not at all. So let's just say half. You get half the money back because there's more activity, but you're still $200 billion short. What are you going to cut? You're going to cut some health and human services? Those are freebies. They don't generate money. They just take. You're going to cut pay to the military? I mean, if you're going to lose $200 billion that you can no longer spend, you have to cut spending. Did you hear that, Washington, D.C.? It's a real good la. They're all doing this la. Don't say the words cut spending. No, we don't cut spending. We just grow bigger. Yeah, well, you can't. And Trump's on the right path, but you have to balance it out somehow. I'm just saying. I don't know how. And here's the big one. Here's the problem I run into with a flat tax. Let's say everybody goes, that's a damn good idea, General. It's a fucking flat tax. It's a sales tax, and you pay by what you spend. And if you don't want to pay tax, you don't buy anything. And if you want to buy something, if Elon Musk wants to buy the planet Mars, that motherfucker's going to pay some tax. Everybody agrees. We lose something. You ready? No. Let's lose something big. All the major companies get tax breaks for doing things. But if you get a flat tax, there's no more tax breaks. There's no more loopholes. There's no more tax credits. You just have a flat tax. Everybody thinks it's a great idea. All right. What about pharmaceuticals that do research and development? What about weapons contractors that spend their own money developing a weapon? They can write that off on their taxes right now. Pharmaceutical says we spent, $10 billion on research and development. We did come up with a couple of drugs, but we get to write that off our taxes. We put out our own money to try to invent this stuff, right? And the government says, yeah, we'll give you a tax break. This is an incentive for you to try and invent. This is a tax break to get companies to try and create, and they use them. I'm not saying they use them fairly, but they use them. If there's no more incentive for those tax breaks for people to go out and put out their own money to invent things, will they all still do it? Well, yes, they still want to invent the pill that they can sell for $10 billion. Of course they'll try. Yeah, they won't. Not as many. Not even close. It's just common sense talking here. It's not as cut and dry as you'd think. I've listened to people way smarter than me for a lot of years. I filtered through a lot of the bullshit. I filtered through some really good concepts, and there is some sticking points. That's one of them. Anyway, sorry, drugging too long, but I'm drinking. Yeah. I'm almost to the bottom of the glass. We should have the truth soon.
Michael Cheney wants to know, could you explain the 14th Amendment to an 8-year-old?
No. The 14th Amendment, God, that is... the right to, no, I can't. That would take a long time I could, but we'd spend an hour on that. And there's some interesting stuff on that.
Sounds like the World Show tomorrow.
It's how they took the 14th Amendment and they extracted pieces of how it's interpreted and then slipped it into abortion. And you're like, that is not the intent on that at all. Yeah, well, we think it is. Yeah, I'm not going down that road. Yes. Excellent question. That's a great question, but I can't. That's one I'm going to have to pass on.
How about the World Show? One World Show, could you discuss it?
Well, we one World Show, yes, but tomorrow I can't tell everybody why. But we have to cut the World Show short tomorrow for something very important that we can talk about after the World Show. Yeah.
Matthew Cole wants to know: did you get the forklift running?
No, the forklift does run. Yeah. Okay.
Make it short because I've got a list here.
All right,
of
we're
questions.
getting into the warmer part of spring, and her convertible BMW that does run, I'm going to fire it up and we'll trailer it down to the shop because remember I get half my building back now, which is great. Although I don't have any money to spend. If anybody has $6,000 extra dollars, then I could finish my corner of the shop just the way I want it. So if you got $6,000 falling out of the front of your pocket as it hits the ground, grab it and go, "Oh, I don't know where to put this." Please, I would love to have that corner of the shop back, but I've spent my money on other things. The forklift goes down there, the BMW goes down there, the shop truck, the big 25-foot trailer, they're all going in the shop, and the forklift will run. I promise you, if you're a member of Patreon, if you're a member of the General's Lunchbox on Facebook,
Fuck says I can loan you the $6K. That's what he says.
I know, Lee, he could loan it to me. What's the juice on that one, my man?
All right, Garrett on Facebook. What's your stance on electric vehicles? And make it short.
Did he say that?
No, I said that.
Who is that,
There's
Gary?
people that want their
I'm not
question.
in a hurry tonight. Relax.
Oh, are you okay?
Did you take your
Garrett.
pills?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Garrett.
All right, Garrett. That was very rude of you to tell me to make it short, Garrett.
No, I'm the one that said it.
Don't cover for Garrett. Garrett's being a dick right now. I know he told me to make it short.
He's on Facebook.
Electric vehicles, there's a place for them in the world. There is. The technology's not where it needs to be yet, and it will get there one day. But right now, liberal Democrats are so fucking stupid that if they actually wanted to make all vehicles electric tomorrow, we all wouldn't go anywhere. The electric grid in the entire country, all of the grids could not support it. And I'll prove this to you. They went, I think it was in Chicago, a company went in and said, we have 300 delivery trucks, we have 200 delivery cars, we're going to have semis that are on electric, and we need to build a plant that runs all of these. We want to be able to charge all 900 of our cars, and we're going to be completely electric. The environment's going to love us. They went to the city and said, okay, let's bring in some power to build this. And the city said, we can't. The city said, we know you want to spend $1 billion on this facility and have everything run on electric cars and trucks and diesels and forklifts, everything. We got it. You would draw more power to charge those than the entire rest of the city. There's no way we could do this. And this was a liberal company that was part of the Democratic machine. So the Democrats going, we're going to do it. We're going to go electric and everyone's going to love us. No, you do that and your company's either going to go out of business or you're going to fuck everything up. You couldn't do it. Just imagine. That was just one company at one city. Imagine if California was mandated to go all electric. It couldn't happen. So right now, I reside myself to realize electric cars are here. They've got their place. They're doing their stuff. I think it's really funny on my way to Vegas to see Teslas that ran out of juice about half a mile before their charging station. I just pull up next to them and I wave and go, boy, doesn't that suck. Hey, you know what? If your phone still works, send Elon Musk a little email. Let him know you're stuck outside here. But there's always, every Tesla owner now carries a little portable gas powered generator in the trunk of their car so they can charge their car to get to the charging station. It's a big circle of life, and there's a place for them, but they're still the goofy ones on the outside looking in. The rest of us that can hear our car and feel our car when we step on the accelerator, we're in the majority, you're in the minority, we're winning, you're losing, shut the fuck up. I'm going to Vegas in a week, and I'm not going to stop for 1 second for any Tesla stuck on the side of the road. All right.
All right, Scott on Facebook. We need the general's thoughts on Sean Strickland responding to the Canadian media during the UFC press conference today.
Yeah, I barely caught that. I can't talk on that because I'm going to have to go back over that. That was something too. And you knew this was coming. Anybody who's been following along, you knew that something was going to blow up and break, and somebody's going to open their mouth. You just didn't know who was going to say it first. We'll get to that. I can't do it right now, but only because I haven't gone into it enough. I can't read everything all day long.
Tim H says, General, I recently had to fix the timing on a newer 2.4 liter engine. The FSM says that you need a scan tool to relearn the VVT. Do you think this is an absolute?
VVT, variable valve timing. What was his question again? What timing did he set? He said new chains, I'm guessing new timing
I
chain.
recently had to fix the timing on a newer 2.4 liter engine. The FSM says that you need a scan tool to relearn the VVT.
You do. Anytime that I will tell you that it's very critical too. The variable valve timing and all of those they can get in stuck open positions. They can go to a default closed position, and they run on, of course, on oil pressure on most of them that open and close and change your cam rotations timing ahead or behind. If it says you have to have that tool and you don't, your car will either run shitty because you're never going to get never going to have the relearn procedure on that, or if it's one of the, like there's some BMWs that have electric motors on the side of the valve covers that drive in and move the cam timing on a lever and a shaft, you'll break your cam or you'll break that motor in half if you don't set those up right. So yes, you have to have it. Unfortunately, it's bullshit, and a little scan tool from Harbor Freight ain't going to do it. You're going to have something big, and if you have to download the software, it's even more. Just tow it to a shop. Let them do it. Pay them $200 and let them finish it out.
I think he is a mechanic.
Well, he might be, but I'm just saying, if he doesn't have the equipment and the tools, he's not a full-blown shop. But if you tow it to a shop and they charge you $200 to re-software it and set the timing, guess what? If they fuck it up, it's on them, not you. You see where I'm going here? All right. Glad you're coming along.
Burschnell, Jackie, Facebook. What's going on with the feds and Texas National Park?
Yeah. Well, the truth is at the bottom of the glass, and guess where I just got? Should have been a better question. You could have asked something very personal. You know, you could have said, well, what's your wife like in bed? I would have had to answer, but you didn't ask. All right. Park in Texas, much more interesting.
Hold that thought. Mrs. Four gifted 5 Gen X Talks memberships to Night Clover, Gary Atkinson, the consultant, John Spartan, and Tammy Schrick. They all got gift memberships. And what do they get?
Why do I got to tell them what they get? Why
Because
can't you
you're
tell
wonderful at it.
Well, you're prettier at it.
They can't see me tonight, so.
Touche. Any of you who got a membership, if you're on YouTube, you can go after the show's over. You can go look behind the curtain at the YouTube channels. Gen X Talks has a community section on their YouTube channel, and you can look at 3 years of behind the scenes stuff. Same with Patreon. You join Patreon if somebody puts up the Patreon link, or if you guys are on Facebook and you go to a page called the General's Lunchbox, if you join, 3 years of behind the scenes personal stuff we don't show the public, just for you guys.
All right. So the question is, what's up with the feds in the Texas National Park?
The Texas as a state is reclaiming land, and it's a very obscure rule that allows them to confiscate any land necessary in the defense of the state. Is what it boils down to. I've listened to everybody talk about this in legal terms, but the bottom line is that the state has autonomy to protect itself. Now, I think that's just written into the Texas Constitution. I'm not so sure California could get away with that shit, but Texas can, and they have some good legal standing. You'd have to ignore a lot of precedents from years ago, 100 years ago, but they confiscate land to do what they want. They're claiming that the border security with the illegals coming across the border is in defense of their state. That's a simple way to put it. And the feds are going, no, that's ours. We control. We decide it's our border. And finally, Abbott and the state legislature go, you know what? We're fucking Texas. We're Texas. Fuck you. This is what we're doing. I'm going to tell you something. And this is a prediction I have not heard anywhere else. I got a feeling that at some point the the federal government is going to roll in and attempt to forcibly take back over some of what Texas is doing, like in the park situation, and they're not going to let them do it. And I think the federal soldiers and the federal agents are going to stand down. I'm telling you that's coming. Write this down. There's a drunk, fat guy in 200 feet below California in a bunker talked about this shit. Yeah, I'm telling you, Texas is getting more emboldened and more powerful at protecting their own borders. Texas is viewing this. It's no longer a United States border. It's no longer a national border. It's our border, and we're going to do something. You look at what they're doing. Look at everything they're trying, and they get more brazen and drag this out longer, even in the face of fuck you, do what we say. And it's an election year. Everybody, even on the other side of the aisle, knows the southern border is a problem. If Abbott, a governor, pushes really hard, do you think Biden's going to push back on a topic? You think he's going to send soldiers down to take back over and actually, in a bigger way than is already happening, send people down there to fuck up on a topic he knows he's on the wrong side of? Can he afford to do that? Watch what happens. Okay, next. Yeah.
Jesse over on Facebook kind of asked the same thing. What do you think about Biden telling Abbott to stand down with the National Guard at the Texas-Mexico border?
Biden's wrong. Abbott's right. Texas is going to win this fight. Texas is not going to back down. If they don't do it on this one, it's going to be on the next one. They're going to say, we're tired of this. We're defending ourselves. Just like a person would defy any law that didn't let him protect his home with his family. That's the way Texas feels about their state. There you go.
Shush gave $5 regarding her wedding. Remember when you talked about the wedding?
Yes.
He, as in Loud One, told her that he would only be home 3 or 4 days every 3 months, 3 or 4 months.
That's true. He's a truck driver. Look, if you marry me, you can have all the money and you can have all the liquor and you can do shopping and have your girlfriend just come over. You guys can hang out there and I'll only be around to bother you 3 days or 4 days out of every 2 months. Well, he said that didn't work out.
Brent over on Facebook. Let's talk tools.
Let's talk tools, Brent, my man.
As a mechanic, what are your honest thoughts on Snap-on tools, specifically shop and tech equipment like video scopes?
There's nothing. Oh, go ahead.
He says, thanks much. Love the show, General.
There's nothing better in the world of automotive tech. If you're setting aside dealership protocols, okay, let's just get out of the dealership realm because they're specific to their. But as far as aftermarket, you're never, ever, 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 ever going to compare with anything like Snap-on Diagnostics. When Snap-on bought Sun Diagnostics way back before most of you were born, that was the biggest leap forward ever for Snap-on, and they've never looked back. And people come around, well, this tech lab supplies the technology for all the dealerships, and we're going to put a tablet, and it's going to be under Mac or Matco, or okay, I don't care. I have purchased them all over the last 35 years, all the way from the very first Snap-on brick. Anybody? The Snap-on brick? Come on, if you know what I'm talking about, you raise your hand. Snap-on brick. All the way from that to where we are now, you will never, ever, ever, ever compete with Snap-on technology when it comes to diagnostic and interface equipment. Now, with that being said, when you move away from that, Freon detectors, borescopes, like was what he was talking about, was a borescope. I don't know. I've seen some stuff at Harbor Freight for $100 that's pretty fucking clean. I mean, you can see some shit. Excuse me. So there, you have to. It becomes your own personal preference and what feels good in your hands, what you can afford to do. But overall, if you had to just blindly pick one brand and say, "I'm sorry, I'm stuck. I can only buy Snap-on everything. I can only buy Mac everything, or Cornwell or Matco," and you're stuck with it, you would have some pullbacks with Snap-on, but they'd be 1%. And 99% you'd be okay. With the other brands, the numbers would be different. I have a lot of Mac tools. I have a lot of Matco tools. Absolutely. I got Cornwell tools. I do. But as far as diagnostic goes, yeah, the top end stuff, you're never going to beat Snap-on. It's expensive and it costs you $3,000 or $4,000 a year for updates, but you're never going to go wrong.
Alrighty. Calvin wants to know, did you ever go to the Whiskey A Go-Go or Rainbow back in the mid-'80s?
Are you sure that's not a question for you?
I didn't go to Rainbow. I did the Whiskey A Go-Go.
And were you of legal age to be attending that venue?
I was not.
You were not. You were in your leather miniskirt and your high heels.
The question was not for me.
I'm making it about you. You're part of this show too.
Did you ever go?
Oh, I've been, but not in the. I had to pay for my drinks. Did you ever?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Did you ever have to pay for a drink?
No.
Okay. I think that would have been a better question for Gen X mom. Yes, I've been to the whiskey. In fact, a stupid story. I don't know whether I think I was drunk off my ass and I went with a couple of friends. We ended up down at I believe it was the whiskey. I'm pretty sure it was the whiskey. And well, where were we? Was it the whiskey? Anyway, I saw this band. I only saw them one time, and they never did anything. It was called Lydia Van Houston. Big rocker chick in a black leather outfit, and she had big puffy blonde. But the drummer, I couldn't get over the drummer. It was the most aggressive drummer I had ever seen. And I'm just off to the stage, and it was Lydia Van Houston, and I'm just like, that was impressive. And I was drunk, and my friends, we went home at 2 or 3 in the morning. We go home, and it just always stuck with me. One day, 40 years later, it pops in my head, Lydia Van Houston, man. I remember that. So I just Googled, to see if they made an album, and there was nothing out there. There was one video of Lydia Van Houston from that show. And I'm like, oh my God, that was a show I was at. And this guy's filming it like a VHS camera. And I was standing on one side of the stage. I'm going, move the camera, man. You're going to catch me. I'm right there. And he never did. I was so upset because I just randomly thought about it, looked it up, and Lydia Van Houston, if you can find a club concert footage, I think it was 87. I think it was at the Whiskey's, definitely down in that area where you're on Sunset and it's in that. And I'm pretty sure that's where we were. And it was right off a stage, and the camera almost got to me like 5 times, and I was so upset because that would have been a cool picture of me standing there in my Levi jacket, in that's my persona. So yeah, there's a dumb story about the whiskey. I'm sure Gen X mom's stories about the whiskey were much better, being she never paid for a drink, never paid for a ride home, ever. Yeah.
Brent on Facebook, 310 stars. Crystal on Facebook, 500 stars sent. Thank you so much for that. Marcy Zavala would like to know, who would you like to see as the Republican candidate for president?
I think at this point I'd go with Trump, only because if you think about Trump and all the you may not like him. He's much better this time around. He's keeping his fucking mouth shut, isn't he? Can we all agree on that? But I loved his policies. I loved the things he changed for the betterment of the country. He's just the biggest, most obnoxious loudmouth in the fucking world. And that's saying a lot because I know me. But this time around, he knows the rules. He knows the game. There's no way they're going to fucking do a Mueller report. They're not going to do all that bullshit. He never let it happen. This time you're going to see him rip and tear and put our country first where it's supposed to be. And I almost can't wait to see that happen. So, yeah, I think Trump would be the best candidate right now.
PayPal, $50 from Mrs. Four.
Yes, Mrs. Four. How can I help you?
Did you take any of your daughters on a daddy-daughter date? Yes, you did.
I think I've taken. Yeah,
remember the dance?
Well, I've taken out a couple of daughters, and I pretended to be the date. I said, "This is how they treat you. This is how they open the door for you. This is where they stand. This is what they do." I've given them. I took a couple of daughters out where I said, "This is how you get treated," and very nicely and respectfully, I did the whole thing with them. But I've also, like my wife just said, I've gone to father-daughter dances. And I remember one, I was gaining a little bit of weight. I wasn't super heavy, but you had me in this bright blue button-down shirt with a big tie, and you've got pictures of me in this. And so we go out. There's two daughters because they were both in school at the same time, and I go to the father-daughter dance with this. And, they started playing 80s music. So I'm out there fucking sweating it out. I'm cutting the rug, as they say. I went out there. And so we get over to, I'm dying for water. I'm like, I need a drink. And so we go sit down. And then the guy who's running the thing grabs the microphone and says, "Well, I'm not sure who the big guy was in the blue shirt, but he just won the dance contest for the whole night." I wasn't really paying attention. My daughters grab me and go, "Dad, you got to go up there. You got to go up there. You won the dance contest." I said, "No fucking way am I walking back up there." But just so you guys know, your general was a good dad at the father-daughter dance, and I did win the dance contest one year. And there was a bunch of old guys like me. In fact, I was an older father, so most of every guy that was out there competing in this father-daughter dance was younger. And who won? Who won? This guy right here. Because my daughters came home and screamed to their mother, "Dad won the contest. Dad won the contest." And then she was like, "But he didn't go up there, did?" "No, he didn't, but he won. They said so." That's right. This guy right here. So I'll drink to myself. You guys should drink to me. That was an accomplishment. Come on. A big old guy going in there with 2 daughters and winning the dance con. You should have never played anything where I could do the robot. You combine me with doing the robot and the moonwalk, and you're fucking over, man. Winner. Right here. That's right.
Goodness. All right. $20 on PayPal from Michael. Will not say his last name because he didn't give me permission, but he did not allocate the funds.
Well, then he didn't ask any stories. I'd have told you a story for $20. Goes to the whiskey fund, which is really going to the studio fund, which is really going to the radio fund.
I Hate Fuck says, member for 21 months, KGXT Studios. The channel is going to get banned with all this right-wing extremist talk.
You know, that's what's going to happen, too. You guys are not going to see us as much because, and everybody knows this, and I know people that work, I've met people that work inside of YouTube, inside of Facebook, inside of TikTok. We got it. Their algorithms bring down conservative channels during an election year. So you have to join like Patreon where we can send you the email letting you know what we're doing. It's true. It's going to happen. It happens every time.
All right. David Hemphill says hydrate and mic check.
Well, you know what? We actually could do a mic check. Hold on. We can do a real one. Hold on. Stand by. Stand by, citizen. For those of you who don't know what a mic check is, you're in for a real treat. For those of you who do know what one is, you've been missing it, have you not? All right. It's very important around here at Gen X Talks that our audio and video equipment is always up to standard, always up to par. We strive to be the best we can be in all areas of the technology that goes along with putting on this program for you fine folks. Now, with that being said, we don't have the money. I Hate Fucks has not delivered the $6,000 yet, so we don't have the money to go out there and perform audio and video checks. The only way in fact, the only video check we have is Wisenoak. When he's on here, Wisenoak says, "General, I can see you pretty clear," and he gives me the thumbs up. The big finger let me know he can see. He loves me. It's a good thing, but the audio is a little bit different. We don't have a way to test our microphones to see if they're working properly like they do at NASA. You know, we don't have a way to test them with all of the way the Russians test theirs. We can't fly these things into outer space and swing them around by their cord and see if they're working. No. We have to do things the old Irish way. Deepak raising a pint right now at 6 o'clock in the morning saying, "Go get him, General. That's my guy." The way we do things around here, the way we check our microphones, our audio equipment here is the same exact way that Marconi did it back in 1743 when he invented the microphone. Okay, back then there was only one way to do it. So I will recreate that and we will see if it works. I would like a thumbs up. If you can hear, we will pour the whiskey into the glass. And if you folks can hear it, microphone's working. So I need a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Here we go. Bum, bum, bum. Shh, quiet on the set. We're running a technical test here. Everybody shut up. Okay, you guys, did you guys hear that over there? We good? We got a, you did or you didn't? Just say yes or no. Okay, this is why I say thumbs up or thumbs down. Yeah, okay, thumbs up. We got it. How'd you guys do? Look in the comment section. Got to see what's going on there. We got some thumbs up. Let me look. Come on now. I ask for your help in this. Don't dog me out now. Looking for a thumbs up. Did you guys hear what's going on? There we go. We got some thumbs up. Look who's in here. Obi's giving me the thumbs up. L3R Workman give me thumbs up. Jonathan Douglas is new. Christina Dvorak, I love her so much. Who else? Oh yeah, Chush gave the little ear and the thumbs up. Good stuff there. See, we got stuff. Stephen Hooks. Okay, now see, that's important here. This is a very symbiotic relationship. When I do and perform a test, the only people I can rely on is you. If you find folks don't reply, I'm just standing here with my dick in my hands. And that's not as pretty a sight as you'd think. All right. What else we got, honey?
All right. Carl Gerard is a member for 1 year. Welcome to the KGXD Studios.
Carl's a cool cat, man.
Gary Atkinson, member for 9 months, bottom of the Glass Nation. He said, thank you.
Yeah.
Scott Hadaway, $10. Love you guys.
And we love you too, Scott, random citizen.
Charles Davis on Facebook. What are your thoughts on why there is an influx of Californians moving to Texas? Texas born and raised, but spent a lot of my childhood summers visiting my dad in Sacramento growing up. So I have love for both.
California is, in my opinion, the most beautiful state. And everybody's got their opinions on that. There's nobody who's right. We're all right and we're all wrong. But it's taxes and regulations. Now, they always say, I've never lived in California. The homeless problem. I don't see homeless people where I live. I don't see homeless people where I drive very often. So you guys act like California's every corner, every street corner, it's homeless people. It's not. It's not. Taxes. I don't like the taxes. Regulations. They don't bother me. The regulations don't bother me as much anymore as they used to when I was in business. The regulations do trickle down into me because the regulations raise prices and I have to pay those prices. But the reason people go to Texas is because it's a friendly environment for now. For now, it's a friendly environment. But look at, you guys think of Texas as being a big red state, but I've got friends in Texas that say the inner cities are blue and growing. That could be a problem. But for right now, people move from Texas they move to Texas from California to avoid the stuff they don't like. But you got to stop somewhere. Yeah, Gen X mom.
That is it. That's all I have.
You mean I gave up all this time and said, ask me anything. And nobody came up with anything salacious. Nobody came up with something like, where did you and Gen X mom first have sex? How old were you? What's the weirdest thing you guys have ever done together as a couple? Nothing. Not one thing on that. Everybody was very professional tonight. I feel like we have a very professional marriage and a very professional relationship going on here. So, but we can't be done yet because I can't pound all this. So you guys can keep asking questions, but you guys got to put a couple bucks on there if you want the big questions and big answers. I'm trying to raise money for the radio station, okay? It's not hard to figure out. Yeah, Jen.
Danny H wants to know, when are we getting the highlight reel of the hammered halo with the general?
Yeah, the kids started to work on that, but I didn't really like the direction he was going. He's got a couple drafts on that, but we'll see in the next couple days. You know, I picked up the controller to play Halo last night. I played one game, and as I was ready to go live, I just shut it down and went inside. I told Trippy Dippy Pineapple, who's senior member on staff here, that I would try to play tonight, but I need to finish this and take a shower, and I got to play Bloons because that's what I play, Bloons. I go to my room and I play Bloons, TD6. Yeah, Jenny's mom.
Samuel Pancake wants to know, would you ever get your nipples pierced?
Let me think about that, Samuel Pancake. Nothing's coming to mind, sir. I'll have to get back to you on that. Yeah.
Loud one, $5. Dallas, Houston, and Austin are all heavy blue cities.
Yeah, the inner cities are turning blue. It's making it tough for rural, good people in the red part to stay red.
All right. Justin Bennett, $5. What do you think about the PICA law in Illinois requiring FOID cardholders to register AR-style guns as of the first of the year, or they can seize them?
Yeah, the Illinois, boy, that's just, I'm surprised you guys are leading the way on that instead of California. And if you don't comply with every line that was there's 37 different things you got to check boxes on. Not only are you holding an illegal weapon all of a sudden, they can confiscate it too. And that's ridiculous. I'm not in favor of anything like that at all. But remember, as soon as they can disarm us, then they can do what they want with us.
Randy Kurtzman on Facebook wants to know, when are you going to be able to take your bike for a ride?
Well, I have a massive problem. It's called a fuel leak. I even have the parts to fix it. My wife beats the shit out of me for that. I'll tell you what's going to happen. The moment I get that bike, I got a battery for it, a new battery, and I fix the tank and I put the tank back on and polish it all up and fire it off. The moment I do that, she's going directly down to Harley Davidson and buying herself a new pretty helmet that matches the bike and some new leathers, and because I'm sure those don't fit anymore because years have gone by for us. But she's going to go down and decorate herself. The moment I do it, so I'm almost hesitant due to the cost. We'd have to start a leather fund for Gen X Mom for the bike once the bike is running. True story.
Bonesaka John. What did the general think of Madonna's most recent performance?
I skip over all those. I have no idea. I don't even care. I wasn't that big into I pretended to be into Madonna in the 80s because that got chicks. You got girls to like you if you were into Madonna or Air Supply or Chicago. You know, if you play Chicago when you're alone with the girl in the 80s and it's getting to be nighttime and then the parents go to sleep or you're someplace and you put on some Chicago, some Air Supply like that. Oh, girl, like, oh my God, you're so sensitive. You're so wonderful. Well, I do like some of that. I can't tell my friends that I do like these bands, but yes, I listen to Elton John too. And then they love you even more. I'm way past that. I don't have to pull that bullshit anymore. I don't watch the Madonna. I don't care. I don't listen, and I'm not part of it. I don't know if she's talking about her falling off stage or maybe her clothes fell off, her tits hit the ground, and she tripped over them. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there.
All right, loud one, $21. Beside Briggs, did you and Gen X Mom create any other kids in gas station parking lots? If so, where? Create a GXT road trip tour.
Reliving the experience. You know what's funny is that there's two stories that come to mind when it comes to badonkadonk with Gen X Mom. One was, and I'm sure she'll remember this. We were traveling with all the kids. So we had like 3 hotel rooms for the kids and us, and we tried to be a little bit separate there. And we were driving long distances, and she had taken a pill called Vivarin. You guys remember those? A little Vivarin, caffeine pill to wake you up. The problem was she was being a smart ass, thinking she knows better than everybody else. She took 2, and then she drank a Mountain Dew. So we get to where we're going, which was on the 5 someplace. I don't remember where it was. We get all settled in. Everybody has dinner, and we put all the kids to bed. And she's in our hotel room just jittery and freaking out. I said, okay, there's 2 things we can do. And remember, we weren't getting along. She was kind of mad at me for the traveling and where we were going and how long we were driving because we had so many kids and so much stuff. We had 2 vans. So we weren't sitting next to each other. So we get where we're going. Anyway, we do that. And I said, you're going to have to pump this stuff out of your system. We got to walk it off. We got to walk. So she goes, okay, let's go. So we're outside this hotel room. We can't walk very far. We can walk laps around the big parking lot. We can walk to the truck stop. We can do all this stuff, but we can't leave our kids. So we're walking for 45 minutes. I finally get back to the room, and she's like, I'm jittery. I can't get this out of my system. She's drinking water like crazy, try to flush it out. And I say, well, how bad is it? Really bad. I said, how bad is it? She goes, terribly bad. How bad do you feel? I feel totally bad. I said, well, we've tried to walk it out. The only thing we can do right now, if you try to walk it, is we can just have sex until it'll burn calories and it expends the energy and it gets your blood flowing. As I'm telling her this bullshit story, she's taking off her clothes. I mean, as fast as she can, and then we knocked it out, but it probably took about 2 hours. And she was determined to get the Vivarin and the Mountain Dew and the caffeine out of her system. And she believed me. She thought this was the way to do it. Do you remember when that happened?
Yes, I do.
Because the next day when you finally calmed down, you said, you are so full of shit. Because you told me you are so full of shit. That was one story. The other
and
one.
Two Bears calling bullshit on the 2 hours, just so you know.
Oh, it was 2 hours or it was an hour and 45 minutes. But I'm going to tell you, want to know who was doing all the work? The person who was loaded with caffeine.
Oh, my gosh.
I promise you.
All right.
So
John,
I had another story.
Well, there's other questions.
She took off all of her clothes except for her tennis shoes and ran naked through a grape vineyard. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Wow.
Why is this all about me time?
Yes.
That was, you know what? Loudon needs to pay like $50 for those stories, 100.
Oh, I've got $100 stories, but no one's paid for $100 stories. All right, what's next?
John Spartan, what about your peen pierced?
You know, the grossest thing I ever saw, I can't believe a friend of mine, an acquaintance of mine, carried around a folded up picture from a magazine. He tore the page out of the magazine. And I want to say this was in the mid 80s, and he used to show it to people. And there was a guy who took his Johnson, cut it lengthwise down the middle. Now there's 2 halves of his Johnson hanging there, and he put a piercing and a chain to each nipple from each side of his Johnson. And anytime anybody ever brings up a Johnson piercing, that moment in time, that picture comes into my brain, and I can't do you notice how quickly I thought of it? I can never get that out of my head seeing that time.
Okay, Chris.
And he folded it up and carried it in his wallet like it was a condom.
All right, Chris Johnson on Facebook. What type of bike do you have?
I have what my wife loves to call a soft tail. It's a soft tail, honey. It's soft.
It is not soft. Not at all. Ace gave $5, $1 for the handsome fun, $4 for the hot babe fun.
Wait. Who's the hot babe?
Me. I was thinking of only 50 cents for him, but didn't want to hurt his feelings. LOL.
I do have feelings.
Mrs. Fort Watton says, "Wonder if the Sun Valley Fox is here." I haven't heard, but I'm assuming.
I'm assuming that when I started talking about his sister, he hung up and was humming Yankee Doodle Dandy in the wood shop out in his garage, filing away on something. I'm guessing.
Yeah. K7L3R. I don't know. Workman.
Well, I just call him Workman.
Can y'all remember where you were on your 30th birthdays?
Oh, let's see. 77. In 1997, where was I? That was really close when we were together, getting back together, but we weren't quite. So I don't remember where I was on my 30th birthday. I can't quite recall. I don't know. You were probably in Las Vegas with all of your girlfriends watching Australian Down Under Thunder swinging their junk in the opposite direction, if I had to guess.
Nope.
No?
No.
All right. What else is there? Are we done?
Yep. The sheets are clean.
The sheets are clean. Well, you guys have had yet another uneventful pass at talking about whatever you want, but this was on you guys. I didn't bring up a topic. I didn't bring up a picture. This was 100% on you. So I'm going to raise one last glass, and then I'm going to tell you, we've gone about an hour and a half. I will not be able to join Trippy tonight and playing Halo. I'm going to go up and take a shower and play Bloons, and I've been on a Twilight Zone kick on the Paramount Plus network. You can watch all, I just put them in order, just click play, and I've been watching all the Twilight Zones, the original Rod Serling Twilight Zones. Hey, there's some of them I remember, some of them I don't. I'm having a good time reliving that part of my youth. For those of you that grew up in the era I did, you guys remember Thanksgiving? Every Thanksgiving, you had all those days off for Thanksgiving, and they showed the Twilight Zone Marathon was on a bunch on that Saturday, Sunday, and Gulliver's Travels, the original cartoon version of Gulliver's Travels was on every Thanksgiving. That was the big thing to do, was Twilight Zone Marathon and Gulliver's Travels. So I'm reliving a little bit of my youth going back like that, but I'm going to drink this to you guys right now. Thank you guys for tuning in and participating. Thank you guys for being part. I'm sorry we didn't make it on the Facebook personal page. I've done everything I can, but I'm a little bit miffed right now at one of the staff members. We'll get to that later, but we did manage to go everywhere else and do our stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in. This one's for you. I won't get to the truth, but I'll get close. One more drink, no chaser, no training wheels. That hit the spot. All right, listen, I got to get out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being part of Gen X Talks. Thank you. If you had an hour and a half to waste, what better place to waste it than right here at Gen X Talks? We appreciate you guys. Tonight was Open Line Friday. We're not going to have another one for a while. We got some very interesting stuff coming up. Very interesting stuff coming up. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we'll have a world show. We'll talk about some stuff. Hopefully, that guy from the Philippines emailed me because I need some nuts and bolts looking out your front door questions answered so I can relay that to everybody else. I need someone with boots on the ground to look out their door and go, here's what's going on. We'll get to him if we can. Hopefully there'll be an email there and we'll work it out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for stopping by. AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you're tuning in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember, wherever you go, there you are. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. That's right. I said it.